Hi, welcome back to Half of Heidi, or welcome in general if this is the first time you've been here on my channel. Today is the 14th of December 2016. I can't believe this year is nearly over. How is that even possible? So yesterday I was 5 weeks post-op having a vertical sleeve gastrectomy, and yeah, I just wanted to talk, I guess, about what's been happening this week and, update my stats and that kind of jazz. So, I'll start with my stats. I actually don't know that I've talked just some general stats before weight stats. I haven't done that for a few videos. So just quickly, I'm 35 and married. I live on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, Australia. I have 3 dogs. My fur babies. I don't have any children. I am 5'8" ish. I actually don't know. I haven't measured my height since high school. So unless I have become like the incredible shrinking or growing woman, I think I am still 5'8". So my stats. So my highest weight was 191.7 kilograms, which is 422.6 pounds. On the day of surgery, which like I said was 5 weeks ago, I weighed in at 179.9 kilograms, which is 396.6 pounds. So that was after a 4-week pre-op diet. Last week I weighed in at 165.4 kilograms, which was 364.6 pounds. This week I weigh in at 163.5 kilograms, which is 360.4 pounds. So I lost this week 1.9 kilograms or 4.2 pounds, and that is actually the same amount, like exact same amount that I lost last week. So yeah, very happy with that. This morning I hopped on the scales and I had put on a little bit of weight, like I'm talking 300, 400 grams or something, but it's my lady time, so I'm always going to fluctuate around this time, so I'm not deterred by that. My period's been personal. We'll get a bit personal for a second. My period was actually like a week late, I think it was. So I've spoken to quite a few people now, or seen other people write about their experience or watched other people's videos. And yeah, it seems to be quite common that your period can be quite disrupted post-op and might take a little while to settle back down again. Or you could just be one of the really lucky people who just seems to all start working again. Anyway, so since the surgery, I've lost 16.4 kilograms, which is 36.1 pounds. So that was over the 5 weeks. And all up, over the 9 weeks, I've lost 28.2 kilograms or 62.1 pounds, which doesn't feel real. That's just mind-blowing. Yeah, to think I've nearly lost 30 kilograms. And I don't feel that different in myself. I actually am going on a work trip next week, and because I haven't bought work shirts for ages, I thought I'd better buy some clothes, and I actually ended up still buying size 26 tops. I mean, admittedly they're kind of loose and they're not going to fit for very long. But I wasn't quite ready to go out and buy a size 24. So on my chart where I'm tracking my stats, and one of them being what dress size I am, still haven't put down that I've got to a 24 just yet. And actually I was in Target, on the last weekend, whatever it was, to see if I could buy some kind of affordable clothes, since I wouldn't be able to fit into them for very long. And I actually there was a size 26 dress that was too small for me. So I'm changing shape in a really, not necessarily the way I feel like I put on the weight, if that makes sense. Like I actually feel like I've lost a significant amount of weight around my face. And actually I'll post a progress photo down below, a link to the photo, because I think that you can see quite a difference in my face. But I took some body shots and I really couldn't see a difference, to be honest. So I actually need to take some better ones. I probably won't have them ready to link in this video in the description box, so I'll try and do that for next week. But yeah, it's really interesting. My waist measurement hasn't changed for 2 weeks, yet the scale's going down. So something's shifting somewhere, but yeah, I kind of don't care. The scales are going down. It's really weird. The other week the scales didn't go down, but I lost 3 centimeters off my waist. So it's weird. You kind of just have to measure everything and also be prepared to track, you know, your non-scale victories, because there's things that yeah, I can do now that I couldn't do, you know, before. And one of those has actually been sleeping without my CPAP machine. In the last couple of days, I've just sort of thought, well, I'll see how I go. Like, I'll fall asleep without it, and if I wake up, then I'll put it on. I mean, previously I wouldn't even have been able to fall asleep and like stay asleep for very long before waking up without, you know, being able to breathe. So the fact that I'm even falling asleep with it was an achievement. And my hubby delicately pointed out that sure, I am still snoring, but it's not like I've got like massive sleep apnea problems where I stop breathing and things like that. So I mean, that's like a huge victory in only 9 weeks to no longer be on my CPAP machine. Yeah, I think, yeah. So I haven't completely said I feel like I don't have to sleep with it. Like, I think I probably could continue to sleep with it for a little bit longer. But yeah, I feel like I don't need it. So, which is good. It means I feel like I could go camping and not have to worry about having, you know, access to a powered site or something. Unfortunately, my husband has sleep apnea as well, but it's not weight related. So, yeah, we're always just going to have to do powered site camping or take a battery or something, deep cycle battery, to be able to power his. But anyway, I digress way off my notes as per usual. So a food update for this week. I'm halfway through the 3rd phase, which is the soft food phase. I found this week definitely more enjoyable than the puree phase. But what's been really interesting, like as this last week has been progressing, is how differently I've been feeling about food in terms of what I want to eat. And I think it has to do with, if you can only eat a small amount, you A, want it to taste really good, but B, you become really mindful of what it is you're actually putting in your body and the quality and freshness of that. And overly processed food suddenly seems really empty. Like, it just seems so, it doesn't feel nourishing. And it's like, mentally you feel like I might as well not even eat this than eat it, because it just seems so pointless. So yeah, I find myself craving fresher food, or food where you've cooked the thing, whatever it is I'm talking about, yourself. So, you know, I'll give some examples, but they're not really great examples. Like if you make a soup as opposed to buy a tin of soup or a cup of soup or anything like that. And I mean, this is, I assume, how normal people feel about food. Like my sister loves fresh food and food that she's cooked herself. She always has. She and I did a video just before I had the surgery about our differences, because she's 55 kilograms versus my 990 kilograms at the time. Well, actually, at the time of the video, it was 180, but anyway. And I wanted to understand how it is that, you know, I'd had this lifelong struggle with food, yet she'd seemed to not. Anyway, besides differences in metabolism, she also pointed out that she's always been, like, just always really, really craved fresh food, fresh ingredients, and fewer processed foods. And I'm finding myself doing that now, and that's really refreshing. Boom, boom, ching, pun intended. So while I used to be able to have, you know, KFC and McDonald's and Hungry Jack's and Burger King for my non-Australian friends, it's so nice now to be craving fresh food. The challenge I find, though, is having fresh food and the sadness you feel when you have to throw away fresh food because you can't eat it all in the time before it's gone bad. So I haven't figured out that balance yet of how much to buy or how much to make of things. I made a smoothie yesterday, and it was absolutely amazing, but I made too much and I really wanted to save it and have the leftovers. Fortunately, it had banana in it, and my little don't know much about fresh food me didn't realise that a banana smoothie would turn brown. And it turned brown, you know, within a couple of hours. So while there was nothing technically wrong with it anymore, like, I'm sure it would still taste exactly the same and provide the same nutritional value, it was just aesthetically displeasing. So I just couldn't drink it. Which was a real shame. So I will make another one for sure, but try to make a much smaller one. So yeah, the food that I've eaten in this last week has been not great in terms of, while I've been craving fresh food, I haven't been eating that much of it. And I think it's because it's taken me all week to figure out that was what was my problem, like why I was really not enjoying food this week. But I've had some things that are processed and taste really good. So one of those, and I thought I brought the box in with me, but I obviously didn't, was a tin of John West salmon and bean mix. So good. It was actually somebody, Jess, I think it was Jess, I'm so sorry if I've got the name wrong, I think it was you, Jess, that suggested it in one of our Facebook groups that I'm in. And yeah, it was really, really delicious. And they've got tuna varieties as well as the salmon varieties. So that was really nice. Still really enjoying smoked salmon and cream cheese on a crisp bread. That's also still really, really nice. Last night I had scrambled eggs with mushroom, onion and cherry tomatoes mixed in. That was really, really nice. I'm still finding I can't get much egg in before I'm full. Like, egg is obviously seems to be a very dense food or something. I don't know. It just seems like, there's only so much I can eat of that before I'm really full. I had a rice pudding without really looking at the nutritional panel. I was just really craving a rice pudding, and it wasn't until afterwards that I saw the carbohydrate count on it, and I was like, I mean, I knew it was rice, but anyway, it tasted really bloody good. But then things that are generally pretty bad for you do taste good. I've had some more like meats from the deli, roast beef and ham and things like that. And sometimes I find just having a slice of roast beef or ham and not actually even putting it on anything or in anything, like a wrap or anything like that, is just, that's enough to keep me going, and little fuss. But I think, I don't know, how do you eat without having carbohydrates like pasta and rice? Because that's what my previous meals used to be, was a hell of a lot of rice or a hell of a lot of pasta with whatever accompanying sauce. And oftentimes, I don't know how. I'm going to have to learn a whole different way of cooking and eating to be able to get protein, because I think my protein intake was probably pretty low pre-op even, and it was mostly like, it seemed to be like a fat and carbohydrate diet that I was living on. So I need to up the vegetables, and I need to up the protein. So yeah, meat and legumes will probably be my friend, which I think is probably why I liked that salmon and bean mix, was because it had the protein in it as well. So yeah, so I've got a couple of confessions food-wise to make as well. So for, I don't know, 15 years, possibly a little bit longer, I basically replaced water with Pepsi Max, and I wasn't really drinking water if I didn't have to. I would basically only drink water if we either ran out of Pepsi Max or we went like to a restaurant or something and I was waiting for the waiter to come around and ask for my drink order. Otherwise I would drink the water from the table. So giving that up in the pre-op phase was really hard. Now I acknowledge that Pepsi Max was a sugar-free drink. So it wasn't like I was giving up a source of extra calories, but there is research to suggest that your body treats the like artificial sugars quite similarly to sugar anyway, in terms of making you crave sugar, because your body feels like it's getting sugar. It's like a really, I'm not going to try to explain the science behind it because I haven't read enough, but go and research it for yourself if you want to. But the flavour of Pepsi Max and the caffeine within Pepsi Max is still something that I'm battling with not having. And I got to the point on Friday of craving Pepsi Max. Obviously, I can't drink it at the moment anyway because of the not allowed to drink bubblies while you're still recovering. So I went to the local service station and got a frozen Pepsi, because obviously it's flat, there's no bubbles, but it did have sugar in it. So I was having it at the same time of thinking how nice it was to have, you know, just a bit of that old flavour that I have been living on for the last, 15 years. But at the same time going, I really shouldn't be having this because it's got sugar in it. And this is kind of, and real sugar, like this is kind of worse than having the Pepsi Max. It was only a small one, but yes, I confess I had a Pepsi Max. I'm also going to make a huge confession, which I wasn't going to make until now. I've actually quite purposefully not told anyone about this. It's actually something I did 5 weeks ago because I didn't want anybody in my November group to follow my example. And in my November group there were some people who were having their surgeries in early December, so I wanted to make sure everyone was well past the operations before I mentioned this. So the night before I had my VSG surgery, I had McDonald's for dinner. So I had a double quarter pounder meal with a large chips and a Coke for a drink. One, for convenience, because Matt and I were travelling to the accommodation we booked and it was easy. Two, because I knew it was going to be like the last of something that I had, one of the very unhealthy foods that I'd been living on, and it was almost a bit of a food funeral. And three, because I wanted to have a large last meal and not an opti-fast. And all my reasons for doing it in hindsight are really silly. So anybody who is pre-op and watching this, the risk that I took in terms of, how my liver looked and, ensuring that I had digested all the food and all that sort of stuff pre-op. I shouldn't have taken the risks, which is why I was not proud and didn't want to tell anybody that I had done that. I don't think I'm alone. I'm sure other people had, you know, broke their pre-op diets and stuff. But to do it the night before the surgery was really, you know, really silly. And all it did actually was create exceptional stress between then and the admission, because I was really then worried about, oh gosh, what if my liver was just fine and now I've eaten this, and I don't know. I don't think your liver can just suddenly, you know, get fat overnight, but I don't know. I just caused extra stress. And then the other thing was, because I'd had the pre-op diet for 4 weeks and had been eating so healthily, it was actually really disgusting. It didn't taste nice. It sat horribly in my stomach. So there was nothing. I actually got nothing beneficial out of the experience. Like, even my reason for having it, because I was like, well, I'm not going to eat this, and it used to be, you know, a bit of a favourite. I was like, well, why did I used to eat this? It's not even nice, and it makes me feel sick. So yeah, that's my confession. I've been wanting to confess for a while now because I've been feeling really guilty about it. But yeah, I just didn't want anyone to go, well, but Heidi had McDonald's the night before and she was fine. Yeah, I just, yeah, want to put that out there. Forgive me? I forgive myself, but I just, yeah, I just felt like I had to talk about it. Anyway, so then this last week, I've had just a really small complication from the surgery, which was one of my incisions became infected. It was actually the top incision. So what actually happened was, the other night, I think it was just before I got in the shower, I think it's because I take my clothes off, it just is my chance to then just to look at my incisions and make sure they're okay. And I'd been doing that every day since surgery, basically. I'd been applying bio oil and just, you know, hoping that, not that I had no scarring, because I actually don't care about the scars, but just, you know, that they'd be healing okay and everything. Anyway, yeah, I was looking at the top incision. I was thinking, gee, that's a bit tender. And I kind of just sort of pushed on it, but not very hard. And yeah, pus came out of it. Sorry, TMI. And I was just like, oh no. And it wasn't much, but I was just like, oh no. Like, any pus is not good when it comes to incisions. So we made a doctor's appointment for the next day, and was prescribed antibiotics, and seemed to have got onto it quite early, which was good, because like by that night there was, you know, quite a bit more pus than there had been the night before, but I'd already at least started taking the antibiotics by that point. Anyway, so other than, you know, a bit of pus and it weeping and being a bit tender and inflamed, I think I've got onto it in time. So I'll finish my course of antibiotics, but I think it's okay. So it just goes to show that you can be, you know, 4.5, 5 weeks down the track and still have a problem with your incisions. So it's, my advice is definitely just to keep an eye on them until they're, you know, they're fully healed and you're well beyond the healing stage. Yeah, it was a really good lesson for me to learn that. Then the other thing that I've noticed is taking my multivitamins. So I take the BN multi. I take the chewable one just because I'm a little bit addicted to the fact that it reminds me of the vitamin C tablets from when we were kids. But anyway, so considering I think my diet pre-op was so terrible that post-op, even though I'm not eating as much, my diet is better in terms of getting the multivitamins, and the food I'm eating, I'm making better choices. And I've noticed that my nails, I don't know if you can see them very well, my nails have grown like weeds, like they're just they're just so long and strong. And my hair, like my hair would grow maybe, I don't know, not much. And now I've got like over an inch of regrowth, which is just phenomenal for me. I've been trying to grow my hair for like over 3 years, and it's anytime I go to a hairdresser and say I've been growing my hair for 3 years, they look at me like it should be past your bum by now. But yeah, my hair grows really slow, except now with these multivitamins, it's like, yeah, I'm actually getting enough for my hair and nails to actually grow and be strong. And yeah, so that's really exciting. Even though I know that like statistically you're supposed to like lose 15% of your hair because of the shock to your body of the surgery, and even then possibly the change in your diet. I can afford to lose 15% of my hair because my hair is so thick. But yeah, just the fact that it's grown really, really quickly in the last 5 weeks is, yeah, really, it blows my mind. Makes me think maybe there is something to those hair and nails multivitamins, but either way, I just tell people, I'm just going to tell people now, if you want your hair and nails to grow really long and strong, get the BN multi. They've got normal capsules, doesn't have to be the chewable ones, or any really good multivitamin that's designed for people who've had weight loss surgery, because yeah, that works. That's cool. Anyway, so next week, and sorry this is a really long video, but anyway, next week I'm going to be in Sydney, so I'm going down on Sunday, come back on Thursday, and I've kind of pre-warned some of my colleagues that I've had weight loss surgery. I actually had no intention of doing it, but suddenly I just sort of felt like, you know how, and they're actually new colleagues, like they're like a new team that I'm in working in. And I'm very much of the belief that if you share something personal about yourself with people, you can form such a more instant and deep connection than if you just stick to work. And, you know, sharing that you've had weight loss surgery is a pretty personal thing to be sharing. But I felt like I'm going to be locked in a room with them for 4 days, and they're going to see what I am eating or not eating, and I might as well just tell them ahead of time that I need to, you know, this is what I'm eating. And yeah, anyway, I had positive reactions from them. And of course, you know, they all knew people who had surgery. So it wasn't like, yeah, it wasn't like they all didn't know what the hell I was talking about. It was actually, yeah, really, it was really fine. And yeah, I feel really positive. So maybe I will start telling more people or more family members and friends. I haven't told anybody outside my immediate family. Like I haven't told any of my aunts and uncles and friends. I hadn't told anyone. So, which seems pretty strange considering I have a YouTube channel. Yeah, I seem to be fine with telling the world, but not the people around me. But yeah, maybe I'll be okay. At the moment, though, I don't know. I'm not quite ready yet. And it's actually for that reason that we're not having Christmas Day with my extended family, which is actually my brother's wife's family as well. I'm just not ready yet. And I think Christmas, I cried last week because I was laughing. This week I feel like I'm going to cry just from feeling sad. Christmas is so about food, and always has been for me. It's been about getting family together and celebrating the year. Sorry. And I feel like it's not going to be the same ever again, because I can't do the whole sit down and sit down and eat all of the goodies. And, you know, I feel so silly crying over food right now, but it was more than that. It was the, you know, everybody making food and everybody coming together, and, you know, you'd arrive and you'd have nibbles and chat over nibbles, and you'd have lunch, and then you'd have your food coma, and then you'd get up again and have your pudding and be full for days basically, but still have leftovers and still be eating the leftovers even when you were full, because the food was really special. Like, it was food that we only ate at Christmas. Anyway, so this year I just don't want to be there to see other people still enjoying the food aspect. And I know that probably sounds really silly. I should go and just enjoy the company, but Matt and I are basically going to do a Christmas that has nothing to do with food. And I think that will help me. Anyway, a couple of days after Christmas, my family and I are getting together again anyway, and we're going to have different food, like not Christmas food, not even have Christmas pudding. And I think that's going to be much better for me. I think that'll be just a really nice, the family's getting together, and it's not going to be this huge traditional day that I feel like I'm missing out on. Sorry, I don't know why I'm ending this video on a sad note, but I guess that's just, you know, it's how I'm feeling, and I'm going to be honest about it. Yeah, so I think I always knew that Christmas was going to be hard, but at the same time, I've got to remind myself that I could be in a completely different situation. I could be somebody who has lost someone, and it's my first Christmas without that person. So I've lost food. I shouldn't be this upset. No, I shouldn't say that either, because I've got to remember, I've got to stop telling myself what I should and shouldn't feel. I just feel what I feel, and I have to, you know, allow myself to have feelings. I think it is just that I wish I didn't feel this upset, I think is what I actually mean. Anyway, if this is your first Christmas without food, I'd love to hear how everybody else is feeling about it, especially if, you know, you're actually hosting Christmas at your place and you're not going to be able to eat much of it. That sounds like it would be even harder than rocking up to somebody else's house. So yeah, I don't know, I feel like I need to stop talking about it because I'm going to start crying again. I hope that, I hope that Matt and I can make this Christmas, this non-food Christmas, which is very a present-heavy Christmas, just as special and memorable, and we can create some new traditions and not, you know, be so much having food be the centre of our Christmas. Yeah, anyway, this is like, might be a record for length of video, totally unplanned, sorry about that. So, look, love to you all. Because I'm going to be away next week, I won't get a chance to film a video until I'm back. So, apologies in advance, but if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, or clicked on the notifications button so you get notified when I post, perhaps you want to do that now, since I'm not sure exactly when I'll be posting the video, maybe Friday next week. Yeah, I'm going to miss you, it's only a week, get over it, Heidi. But yeah, I just wanted to say that up front, just in case you're wondering why there was no video next week. If you're, I don't know if you've got any questions or comments or want to reach out to me, please do so. I really, really do love hearing from you, and your comments are so lovely and encouraging, and just, yeah, really makes my day. You guys have said some of the nicest things to me that have made what I thought was just me tracking my own little personal journey. I'm going to start crying again. has made this so much more special. So thank you so much for that. I think I've got over 120 subscribers now, and all over the world, and it's just so nice to yeah, to have you guys here and to be able to watch your journeys as well. And yeah, it's just really lovely. Anyway, I've got to leave it here because this video is so long. Okay, so thank you so much for tuning in. I'll catch you again later next week. Okay, hope you have a great week. Bye.